Aloha, everybody, and welcome back to Vision Quest Astrology. And today we are going to be continuing with our opposition series. Today we are going to be dealing with the Sagittarius and Gemini axis, which is a super fun one for me. Personally, I have a Sagittarius moon and north node, the Gemini south node, and this is just one of my favorite axes to look at. It's very dynamic, it's very fun, it's very unpredictable. These are mutable signs, and I feel like the mutable signs, all of them, but especially these two, are very hard to pin down. So let's take a deeper look and kind of find out why that is. Let's look at Gemini, the first one here, and figure out what Gemini is all about. Wow. Gemini, I feel like gets this rap for being, lying and always, being very manipulative and just kind of being, two-faced. You hear that with the minutia because, the archetypes and the glyph is the twins, so kind of you get this one side and then you get the other. But how I see it is duality. Gemini has a very dual nature, and being mutable in this air sign, it has a love of information. Now, Gemini is this endless well of information. They are cataloging everything you say. They are just taking it all in like a sponge, not in the way that like water signs do in the sponge, that they're taking on people's emotions, no. But they're really taking in everything you say. They're listening to what the teacher is saying, and they're forming an opinion about it. They have these ideas stemming off of it, and it's like they have these file cabinets in their mind where all of the information that they're absorbing is just kind of like going into these cabinets. But it's just very scattered. It's a very scattered sign. There's a lot of anxious and nervous energy that kind of comes along with it because there's so much information, so much stimulation, and there's a lot going on there. Gemini has a lot to do with the immediate environment. You hear a lot about in the third house and things like that, your neighbors and school. Gemini has a lot to do with that. Our elementary and middle and high school life, that's very Gemini. It's a very social sign. You're dealing with your siblings here and just everything that was close, near, dear, and personal growing up. It's where you find Gemini is that energy where what was in the earliest immediate surrounding environment, and Gemini is just kind of looking around at all these people around them, and they're absorbing all of it. They're taking note, they're taking information, they're learning how to communicate. They observe and see how people talk, so they know how to wendle their way in there and kind of talk too. And that's kind of where that duality nature comes in. It's not that they're fake, it's just they know different situations require a different form of communication. There's no 1-2 forms of communication. There's different styles of it. With everyone you talk to, it's going to be a little bit different, and they are masterminds at that, and I actually really value that in them. Sagittarius, on the other end, which is the opposing end of Gemini. Sagittarius, whereas Gemini is the immediate surrounding and environment, Sagittarius is out there. It wants to go explore. It wants to broaden all of the information. Sagittarius is a lover of knowledge and philosophy and know-how. It wants to actually take all of these principles and teachings and all of the information that Gemini has kind of gathered, but just kind of scattered and all over the place with. It actually wants to use it and go apply the information and turn it into wisdom. Whereas Gemini is more of a student. Sagittarius is like the teacher archetype. Sagittarius is always on the quest for truth. It doesn't just want the simple details. It wants truth. It wants to know more. It wants to expand upon it, and it just wants to explore not only on the physical terrain and go see other places out of the immediate surrounding, but to actually explore their mind and question the thoughts, and actually see what else is really going on in there. What does the world has to offer me, and how can I apply this to myself in my own mind and expand myself so that I can show this and share this with everyone around me and teach it to them. And you'll find with Sag, a lot of the times people don't always want to be taught, but they're still going to share their teachings with you anyway, because that's just what they do. That is who they are. This axis is the axis of perception. You know, perception is how we perceive things. It's how all of the information and interactions around us going on. It's how our mind is taking that in. And I will say the Gemini Sagittarius axis is the axis of the mind and perception. It's just they're achieving for the same thing, but they're going about it in these opposite ways. So, you know, Gemini really is kind of taking in all of this information and it's synthesizing it. And it's taking it all in, it's getting the notes down, but without Sagittarius, it doesn't have the ability to make it meaningful. It's just all of this information you have so you can pull it out of your pocket. Like I've noticed Gemini energy a lot of the time. You know, someone can ask them a question, they really don't know anything about the topic, but they know enough about it from what they've heard about it to carry on a conversation about it, even though they can't really apply it, it's not applicable. Whereas Sagittarius, on the other hand, is really good at taking that sensory perception that Gemini has and actually turning it into something and really making it usable and using it for knowledge, because Sag really wants to understand it. Gemini wants to learn, but Sag wants to understand. But then at the same time with Sagittarius, without the counterpart of the Gemini influence, Sagittarius gets so inflated with the bigger picture that there can kind of be ego issues a lot of the time and kind of having all of this, you know, these philosophies, but no information to back it up off of. So how can the teacher teach without the lesson plan of Gemini? And how can the lesson plan of Gemini be used if it's not applicable? So you bring those two together and fuse it and merge it, and you just have this powerhouse of teachings and information and knowledge, because that's what it really comes down to with these two. They are both lovers of information and knowledge. So yes, really nurturing the mind is the big thing here, you know. Communication is a big thing. These are signs that love to talk and communicate and share their ideas, but really it's formulating in the mind, you know, up here, all of that mental jabbery energy and fusing that to really create something bigger and to have something more. You know, these are signs that really want to understand, they want to intellectualize, they want to philosophize. So when you bring the intellectual capacity of Gemini and merge it with that philosophical nature of Sagittarius, you really have one of the greatest teachers and gurus and student around, because when this axis is combined, you realize that the ideology of teacher and student aren't so separate. We can merge that. We never master life and are somehow better than everyone else. We are all students of life, but we also can also realize that we are our own greatest teacher, and that's what this Gemini and Sagittarius axis reminds us, that we are both all in one. And considering these two are mutable and have such a duality nature to them, they know that. So yes, guys, there you have it. That is Gemini and Sagittarius in a nutshell. Two signs that are very hard to put in a nutshell. And yes, next up in our series is going to be Cancer to Capricorn. And just a quick reminder to everybody, I have a website that I'm going to put in the link down below coming up for my astrology readings and everything else, visionquesthealing.com. It's not open yet, still under construction, but I am doing readings, chart readings at a very limited discount right now. I'm charging only $40 to $50 depending on the chart and if you're wanting a video or a written out reading. So very good deal. So hop on right now while I'm still offering it before I get the website open. Just email me at visionquestastro@hotmail.com and I'll include that link down below. Thank you for watching, everyone, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace out.